We're lucky to be able to live here.
Oh, I long to see the churchyard by Lough Gur's romantic shore, where the shamrock and the ivy ever grow.
You have the place itself, but you have the people. It's the people that ultimately make a region or a place. There's great people here. They let you alone if you want to be left alone. They'll help you if you're stuck. And they'll invite you in as well. So that's what it's about, really, you know what I mean? That's Lough Gur in a nutshell, like.
So you can see the galleries here. There's actually a stone circle here, probably back from the Neolithic people or the Bronze Age people. You can imagine why they built up here. Protection and the view of the whole countryside around.
It's the history, it's the topography of the place. It's just this oasis that's very, very different.
You layer that with the community around here. There's a difference here.
You were bred, born and reared in this part of the country.
Spent all my life both here in Lough Gur.
My father, Roisin and Patrick's well, was his life really.
Had you a story, Mike?
Yes, I have indeed.
Maybe I'll ask you a little bit about growing up here.
Growing up, I always had an interest in the lake, fishing and swimming.
We all had cabby houses. Cubby houses or cabby houses. In amongst the bushes, the trees. Someone would give you a bit of curtain material and you'd have to hang that on the tree for a window.
We used to cut the bulrushes and tie them into a sheaf and lie across them and paddle across the lake.
I mean, we used to even pretend when the meadows were high, we're getting high, that was the sea. And we were swimming inside, and of course we got an earful from my father because that was the knock on the grass, you know. But we used to pretend that, you know. You had great imagination. You had your own imagination.
Christmas concerts every year. Every child front and centre on the stage. They weren't backstage. Like, every child had a part to play in it.
It's great to have grown up in here, and I know it's had a big impact on my own work. There's no doubt about that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lough Gur House. This evening, we hope to gather some of the music, the songs, the poetry, the stories, and the folklore of Lough Gur.
He left school when he was 14 and he went working for John Hunt, the archaeologist. And that was the 1930s through to the 1950s. Of course, there was excavations around the lake. And what my father would do sometimes is he'd have a timber box with a glass panel on the bottom and row out into the lake and put this box down into the water and just looking for artefacts basically. And as much as it was clear, it was magnifying as well. So there was found a couple of artefacts. All right. The Hunt Museum is where they ended up. Stone Age axes. And I'm not entirely sure, but there were certainly Stone Age and Bronze Age artefacts, and they're on display inside in the Hunt Museum. John Hunt used to travel the world, basically, and my father would be like a caretaker then when he was gone, just stay in the house and make sure everything was safe and sound.
This is the Holy Well here. St. Patrick was supposed to have come here on his way from Cashel, I think. He was coming from Cashel. All these streams come from the hill behind us, and it was probably to freshen himself up for his next travels. Rested here overnight, reportedly slept against the tree, and the imprint of his back was on the tree. Now, whether that's true or not, we'll never know, because them trees are long gone.
The Holy Well here itself, different characters would come there on a regular occasion. Tom Carroll and all those would be a big part of your life growing up.
There was a pig there, a fat pig reared up to be killed, and Ned Murphy, yes, would come and kill the pig. And my mother would take us away up the hill because of the screeching of the pig. You know, she didn't like that. But then we had to come back to reality and help with the puddings and make them and everything like that, you know. It was hard work. It was hard work.
The tractor we brought out in April and we put into the shed once the potatoes were dug, and the potato digger was put away and the tractor was put into the shed for the winter. And it was the horse that did the work across the winter then.
We had a horse at one time, a white horse.
And then the horse would be used to go to Limerick on Saturday morning. My grandmother would buy the above in Kibballion in the Colonels. They had an orchard there. Yeah, I suppose it was an acre, maybe a bit more, an acre and a half maybe. And there was half of that of rhubarb. And she'd buy the rhubarb off him and put into bundles. The bundles were maybe five sticks together. And you make a bundle of them. And take off the leaves off the top then and tie them together. And put them into the car and bring them home and take them off to the market a Saturday morning. Heat off at 7 o'clock in the dark, into town, into the market. And you go in then, you'd pay a toll, cost a few pence in the toll, I don't know what it was. And you'd stay there then, and she'd sell all the rhubarb. And then for what you get for the rhubarb, then she'd buy groceries. And then she'd go down to Collins's and Campbell. They were down at the very end of Patrick Street on the left. I remember it well. And she'd go down there and she'd get all cigarettes there and tobacco. Gary Owen was very popular them years. And she'd buy all that there. And then with all that done, you come up to Troy's Bakery. And she got all the fresh bread there then and buns and cakes, whatever she wanted. And we get our dinner there then. And we hit up then up to Burns's Mineral Waters. And she got on her minerals there. Whatever she wanted to get, load them there then. And when that was done then, it was time to come home.
One starry night, as I lay sleeping. One star.
And she took me home then, we'd been Holy Cross, just before to be dark maybe. And she'd sail all the ways up then from Holy Cross up to her own house, along the road. Every house up along the road would buy the stuff. Because it was fresh, you see, it was fresh, it was on the day, and it was fresh. And that was done every weekend.
So the lovely red sticks of rhubarb that she was taking to sell in the market, they were nothing compared with the green ones you're giving me now, is it?
And the colour has gone off of them now, George. The colour has gone off of them. You want to be paying a lot more for red ones now, George. The red ones are dearer.
And the halting places too. I did inquire of all your people. Had you any sighting or seen signs of you?
We've had several artists around Lough Gur.
Yeah.
We've had writers, songwriters and poets. Mm-hmm. So Lough Gur, there's something inspirational.
Whether it is sunshine, rain, hail, snow, wind, that landscape just is magical. Like to see it now, it's a beautiful calm evening. You can see the lake is like a mirror, and you can see the reflections of it. You get up on a morning and you'd have the mist over the lake, and then it rises, or you can have the sun shining over the west there in the evening coming in. It's a different picture every day.
There's an artist that I know for a long time, and he was on his way back from Kerry, so he said that he dropped by Lough Gur. He came by Reardon's and then saw the big vista, the big across the lake, and he said, "My God, this place is amazing." He says, and I used to think Robert Ryan was a good painter. Now I realise he's just painting his own place. but it has an impact, and you do feel the souls of the past.
You would have met all the great characters that would have come in. And
There were some great old characters there, yeah.
How long have we got? Characters. The two that I remember from my time anyway were Massey Quinn and Jimmy Higgins.
Oh, yeah. Morris Quinn, Morris and Jimmy Higgins, I know.
Every single day, every day. Morris was from Kilshima in County Mayo. And I remember he'd have his drink, and there was a whiskey or just Powers or something like that he'd drink. Yeah. And then he'd get kind of romantic, and he'd start telling me then about, the book, The Language of Flowers. And he'd be reciting this poetry to me. I mean, it was lovely the first 2 or 3 times I heard it. The more times I heard it, I was thinking,
keep listening to
you have to keep listening, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, there were some great characters.
Jackie Daly.
Another thing I found funny as someone who comes from Bruff was that people would be ice skating on the lake.
Yeah, a number of families were expert skaters and still are. Daniel Clancy, a very good skater, his brother Pat, all the Carrolls were able to skate. We had some great characters out here skating.
The year the lake froze over him, and it froze so hard that we walked across the water. And Father Liam Holmes, Lord to mercy him, who was our PP at the time, a great man too, he got a great kick out of the fact that he walked on water, and would say Jesus wasn't the only fellow who walked on water.
Then just to get back to the fairy side and the mystical side of Lough Gur, did you ever, or any of your sisters or brothers, did they ever have any experience?
Whatever, it was about the middle of the day, I remember, and I could hear this noise all around me like a dog crying, and it was coming from one direction and the end of the other, and all directions, if you like. So, of course, I thought nothing of it, until a local man, about 10 minutes later, walked into the yard, and he didn't say good day or nothing like that. He said to me, "Did you hear her?" he said. And I said, "Did I hear who?" And he said, "Did you hear the banshee?"
It was really cold, and it was a frosty evening. My breath was white nearly with frost as I was walking, and I was walking up the drive. And again, I looked around, and I did feel a presence, whatever it was. Now, you know, when you're doing this, you could think, is it my imagination? Is it a chill? Is it what? You don't know. And I didn't know. And I looked around, and again, nothing. But I was walking quicker because now my feelings, my emotions were getting stronger and stronger, and I was getting frightened. So I looked around, anyway, finally, and I saw this elongated greyness. That's all I can describe. About 8 or 10 feet away from me. And now my breath, I couldn't breathe for a second, and I started to run. And as I ran and ran, and I can visualize it now, and I could still feel the presence behind me. And, you know, coming up the drive, there's a big tree, I think it's an oak tree. And I ran at it, and I remember the splinters in my fingers as I climbed it, and my chest was sore because I ran at it. And this thing grabbed my leg. It's cold. It was freezing now. And pulled my leg. And pulled it and pulled it. Just like I'm pulling your leg now.
Oh, I long to see the churchyard by Lough Gur's romantic shore, where the shamrock and the ivy ever grow.
Lough Gur is a very, very special place, and I hope that in future generations to come, when I'm well dead and gone, that it will still be such a magical place, and to respect the ancient sites, and to respect the spirits that dwell there. Live happy here in Lough Gur and enjoy what we have here, and hopefully it won't be ruined by overdevelopment and that.
Climb up to Knockfennel on a summer's evening and look west and look out towards Knockfearna and Tory Hill over by Crewe. Go to Knockdirk, the quarry, climb up on that and look out towards the west again, and on a good day you can see the Paps down in Kerry, you know what I mean? So climb up to Carrigall first thing in the morning and you have this encompassing view. Those views won't change.
Sweet Champel New, where our tears so freely flow, o'er the graves of those who nursed us long ago. May the heavens smile upon them and their choicest gifts bestow, o'er the graves of thy love sleepers, Champel New. May the clay press lightly o'er him in his silent, nameless grave, where the shamrock and the ivy ever bloom, and the beech trees tall and shady over him gently wave, till the trumpet blast shall call him from the tomb. Sweet Champel New, where our tears so freely flow, o'er the graves of those who nursed us long ago. May the heavens smile upon them and their choicest gifts bestow, o'er the graves of thy love sleepers, Champel New. O'er the graves of thy love sleepers, Champel